We've shown you everything outside, we've shown you everything inside. Now let's set off for the big driving report with the brand new Polestar 4. Let's start with the turning circle. Many of you will also use it in urban areas. 11.84 meters and naturally an 11.64 meters turning circle. It's really quite a nice feature to have, as it allows you to navigate extremely well, especially in urban environments. In addition to the turning radius, it's consistently important to be able to park a Polestar 4 effortlessly and with precision. There are various assistance systems for that, including the parking assistant, but that usually takes too long for me. Much more important, in my opinion, are proper C360-degree camera systems, which give you a good all-around view that you might not get otherwise due to the vehicle's structure. Well, I'd say Kolkoshilsi or something like that. It's incredibly beautiful here, right?
It's a nice drive with the roof down.
Let's take a road trip there sometime. Thoughts? Well, this is genuinely quite brilliant. It's just as remarkably brilliant as the sophisticated camera system you have here. You have the option here, as with all the latest cars, to have a three-dimensional view. It's always interesting, particularly when you might want to park close to the curb with the rims, that you have several different viewing angles available here, to perhaps then also get more detailed information in both 2 dimensions and 3 dimensions. Well done, Stefan, right? Thoughts? Yes.
Absolutely. Even in high resolution, looks amazing.
For example, this is the view to the right, the view to the left, where you can also nicely see the rims. Then we have both views displayed in parallel, for instance. And what's really brilliant is the rear view camera. At the front, we additionally have a front view specifically for the front wheels. And we also have when driving out with guiding lines, since some people don't know where they'll go when turning the wheel.
Who hasn't experienced that before? You steer to the right and then the car veers to the left. It happens each day.
No, but it's nice it's there, right? Right?
Where now? Yes.
Right, if he didn't have it, we would also say, man, he doesn't have it.
Okay.
By the way, where you need to be careful with the Polestar 4, and this is just for fun, is with the inductive charging pad.
Yes, why do we need to be careful about that?
Because if you want to get your phone, you could just reach for it, right?
Anyone could.
Then you can just make a quick short circuit and then it flies into your hand, right?
This dog's got punch.
Guys, there are 2 settings options here. I have to show you. The one is here while driving. Range, where it truly focuses on efficiency, maximum range, and a completely balanced power distribution. But if you tap into the power here, I'm telling you, that's when you truly experience what power means. Because at that point, 400 kilowatts are instantly ready to unleash. We took you through several scenic and beautiful hairpin turns here to better demonstrate and give you a comprehensive sense of the marvelous chassis and formidable power that the Polestar 4 truly offers. This means we can take every curve very nicely here, even at the allowed 60 kilometers per hour. This is no problem at all for this car because it has a low center of gravity thanks to the 100 kilowatt hour battery, but also a suspension system, which allows for an exceptionally very good sporty and dynamic driving behavior. And of course, you always have the abundant power from the 400 kilowatts to swiftly accelerate out of the winding serpentines. This car absolutely loves curves and winding roads. It's very high performing and wonderfully dynamic when it's out on the open road. Well, I have to say Polestar has achieved, in my opinion, a very refined and firmly comfortable tuning for the country road. Yes,
Definitely.
but right here in the winding sections, it really has the necessary firmness and stiffness, allowing you to take those curves with the car more swiftly and confidently. I think the engineers did a great job.
Very good work. It's really fun.
What's really nice, always in the mountains, of course, are the lakes that you can enjoy the view of in the bends. Mountains are quite nice too.
Absolutely, yes. It's a beautiful landscape here.
And especially with the Polestar, you get good support from the seats. So even though the wheels squeal a bit, we still stay nicely embedded in the seat. I think some of you who want to drive such a car, very performance-oriented, might benefit from an optional sport seat. Right? What do you think?
Certainly, it would definitely prove to be quite useful on winding roads at various times.
We want to measure the interior noise with you at 50 kilometers per hour. 58, 59 decibels. That's a very good value. Let's speed up to 70. Mit 61 und 62 Dezibel bei der Beschleunigung auf 100 km/h erreicht der Lärmpegel 66 und 67 Dezibel. Diese Werte sind wirklich außergewöhnlich und sorgen für ein angenehmes Fahrerlebnis. Selbst bei höherer Geschwindigkeit bleibt der Geräuschpegel überzeugend niedrig. Just like the 70 and 100 values, but if you compare it, take the ID.3, which is certainly a different vehicle class. It's at 100 kilometers per hour, around mid-70s decibels, and we're clearly below that here. We want to test the launch with you in Dracoma Act seconds. Can it make it? We've activated the Draggy. Stefan, do count.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
And there it pushes forward 400 kW, 544 HP, and we're accelerating to 100, and we'll do the brake test with you in a moment to see if it can come to a good stop. Let's take a look at the figures. From 0 to 100 in 4.78 seconds. So if we're being truly honest here, that's
0 to 50 takes 2.35.
seconds, and 0 to 60 in 2.78 seconds. Let's hold on to that thought, because we're going to make a U-turn and give it another try in the opposite direction. I activated the sport mode again and turned off the ESP. Stefan, give a countdown. I have done a reset on the Jaguar.
3, 2, 1, and now let's get going.
And he takes off with squealing tires, reaching 70, then 90, up to 100. And naturally we slam on the brakes hard once more. But you could give a bit more there, and now we've also received new values. And they also look significantly better. 0 to 100, 4.15 seconds, 0 to 60, 2.26, 0 to 50, 1.9 seconds, and 60 to 100, 1.89 seconds. That's some power, right?
He's really stepping on the gas there, yeah.
Blimey, to really get the absolute maximum power possible, you need to go into the menu and switch it to performance mode right here. Click into Logic and shift into sport mode, ensuring the ESP is off, because it's only then that it truly seems to accelerate with its full power unleashed. Whew, need to breathe. That was awesome, right?
That was good, yeah.
Where the Polestar 4 feels at home is definitely on the country road, right? Yes.
Yep.
Because we will soon head onto the expressway. But first, let's talk a bit more about the country road. So he's really a curve robber, right? Yeah, we noticed that in the hairpin turns, we noticed that in the high-speed corners, and it has such a firm yet comfortable suspension that on the one hand absorbs bumps and uneven surfaces very nicely, right? But on the other hand also establish a certain road contact, stability and firmness. So you consistently feel perfectly safe and secure, even when taking winding curves and driving through different sections at the maximum allowed speed on the country road. Right? Right? I think that's the fair way to name it. Yes, we're going to head towards Munich now on the A95 drive. I heard from locals that they say there are no speed limits there, and that would indeed be the perfect opportunity to determine some driving statistics with you once more. We're eager to really accelerate in performance mode right here with all of you, and then we're already getting onto the highway. Over here the speed limit is 130, Stefan.
Well, maybe that's still a part that's not released.
Yeah, we definitely managed to perceive a sequence here. Stefan, would you kindly read out exactly what's displayed on our Draggy, please?
We've got here 80 to 100 to 122.28 and 60 to 100 in 1.83.
Yes, that was indeed a value we were, I believe, also allowed to acknowledge. So I believe he's considered a launcher, isn't he? Yes.
Yep.
By comparing that to the weight, we will very soon have another look at it once again. I'm not certain of the exact weight at this moment, however I'd estimate it might weigh somewhere around 2.2 tons. We will check that shortly. I think he's definitely a high performer, don't you?
Alright, yes.
Let's go through it once more. It's clear over here, so we can speed up. Let's move out here where it's completely clear. We also intend to accelerate through to the maximum speed. That's 200 kilometers per hour. And we will definitely acquire some interesting and noteworthy values then. We've reached 200 and are now at 205 kilometers per hour. Don't be confused by the display. The traffic sign recognition has some errors. I believe you have the free driving sign. Genuinely ensure that Polestar 4 definitely needs to make improvements to its traffic sign recognition capabilities. Stefan, recheck values. 100, 200, we might have missed it. 100, 200.
The number there is 11.89.
I think that's a pretty good value. Of course, it doesn't reach high performers. I think a Porsche Turbo S takes about a good 7 seconds, as does the Audi RS e-tron GT. But of course, in this situation, we also have a somewhat larger little limousine, which maybe doesn't even have the ambition or intention to reach or achieve such impressive values. Because the car here has 544 horsepower, Porsche Turbo S GT, that one has over 1,000 horsepower, I believe. I think the Turbo S has over 760 horsepower, if I recall. So that's another whole notch up. Yeah, what might be available, we haven't got any information yet, is a performance package. Performance package sometimes means a bit more power from the tank, so more power in the electric motors plus different brake systems, adjustable dampers. We will of course make efforts to gather more information for you, because we are certainly hopeful to eventually have the opportunity to receive the car as a press vehicle, where we definitely want to take the color out and perform the charging check together with you. We are eager to try out the pilot assistant here in the Polestar 4 along with you. And what I believe you can see is that it's maintaining the center of the lane very, very nicely here at all times. In addition to the lane keeping assistant, it also features a steering assistant on board. He has the adaptive cruise control on board. And of course, it also notices when we haven't had our hands on the steering wheel for a while and reminds us to do so, because it's a semi-autonomous system is. I believe he has made quite significant progress by now. He is indeed quite capable of probably also adopting speed limits. At the very least, I've enabled this functionality right here in the onboard computer. Unfortunately, we don't have a speed limit here where we can check that. The only drawback I've seen is it maxes out at 130 kilometers per hour.
That's obviously not great for a vehicle that goes 200 kilometers per hour.
So that means you can basically reduce the speed here. Sure, then it just goes slower. That means it also has a brake assistant on board here, but 130 km/h for a 544 horsepower car seems kind of very low to me.
I do think so.
Very little. So, and of course we have the expectation, because other manufacturers can do it too, at least up to 210 or even more, that we naturally have that in such a vehicle too. Because if we have a top speed of 200 kilometers per hour here, then it would naturally be nice if it could support us semi-autonomously from 30 to 210 kilometers per hour. That would be it. Or even from 0 to 200. So 30 is, I believe, the minimum. Many of you find this important because you frequently drive through extended 30 zones, and naturally, you sometimes want to maintain a speed of 30. Let's dive into the topic of travel comfort. For this, we consistently have Stefan's trusty comfort meter on board. How's it looking today?
Again, really positive, I must say. I have an extremely good side support. Thigh support is also great, especially earlier in the serpentine roads or something. It didn't throw me left and right in the seat here. Everything was super cool, and I find the suspension of this car very pleasant as well.
Yes, what's nice about the taut yet comfortable tuning here is that you have almost no body roll. I can give you a small demonstration of this, showing how the car remains very steady and beautifully balanced throughout. Unlike other vehicles that tend to sway from left to right, this one really doesn't do that at all. E-mobility is what gives us a low center of gravity, effectively pulling the weight down and keeping it steadily in place for optimal balance. And yes, it's quite enjoyable to drive this car in a more spirited manner, really experiencing and appreciating its performance on the road. Nevertheless, it's definitely a cruiser. I really felt that excellent long-distance comfort while driving on the highway. Perhaps also thanks to the lengthy wheelbase of 2,99 meter, it ensures that not every bump or rut is transmitted into the car's interior. That was very, very smooth, and he actually made a nice balance between being able to drive extremely sportily and also being able to travel very, very comfortably. Sure, for all those who now take it to the racetrack, the suspension will likely reach its limits, to be honest. We also took the Taycan 4 Cross Turismo to the racetrack in Oschersleben, and even this car eventually reached its own limits at some point, and also because of the heavy weight affecting the tires. But I'd really be keen to take the Polestar 4 for a quick and exciting track lap, right?
True, it's fun.
So, Polestar, feel free to invite us when you have something like this planned. We want to test the fence system from Harman Kardon with you. Wow.
That's really quite astonishing.
That's quite nice. It delivers clear highs, strong mids, and good bass. However, to truly stand out more prominently, it could use a bit more punch to enhance the overall listening experience. OLLI, you have the opportunity to utilize the equalizer for recording your own samples for settings and to adjust it precisely according to your personal taste preferences. We want to come to a conclusion with you here with the brand new Polestar 4. We have had ample opportunity to try out the vehicle with you, showcase it to you from both the outside and inside, and we are truly and genuinely thrilled. Excited. Why? In Germany, it starts at 61,900 euros with rear-wheel drive, 200 kW, 272 HP, 343 Nm of torque, 0 to 100 in 7.2 seconds, and tops at 200 km/h. For more speed, add the 8 kilos, then it's 69,990 euros. With 400 kilopedales, 544 horsepower, 686 Newton meters torque, and 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds. And that he successfully manages to achieve this nearly in every situation, we've convincingly demonstrated to you here today with the help of the GPS tracker. 100 kilowatt hours, 4.84 meter limo, 526 liter trunk. A neat option to fold down the seats, say for a large item. In my opinion, there are 4 seats that offer a very generous amount of space for 4 individuals, ensuring they can be comfortable and agile while engaging in athletic activities. Can travel. That's not always assured. Nice middle armrest, ISOFIX mount, even kids fit. I think it fits well. A front frunk to stow charging cables, and a double loading floor for extra gear or other items. So you see, inside the Polestar you've got plenty of space, and I think it's a great concept. Plus, you're not sitting as high up as in an SUV.
That's what I especially like about the car, about the design. Yet it's got 21-inch wheels. You're sitting a bit higher, but you don't feel like you're in an SUV. I really think it's quite nice.
It's essentially a cross-utility vehicle positioned right between a sedan and an SUV, particularly considering its height of 1.53 meters. And I'm really impressed by the space, you know?
Yes, you truly have ample space in about 4 spots here. Even in the back seating area, since adjustments are possible, everything fits rather nicely. It's efficiently planned and covers everything.
And what you naturally receive with Polestar, as I mentioned at the very beginning of the video, are particularly appealing leasing conditions. This means it now starts at about 599 euros for the launch in the German market. You can see everything that's included, of course, on the Polestar website. Please feel free to check it out, and what's great about Polestar is that they have a good dealer network if there's ever a small issue, because most Volvo dealers also carry Polestar.
Right, exactly.
And surprisingly little is read in forums about issues with the Polestar 2, so if we just multiply that by 2 for the Polestar 4, that would really be funny. Then one should actually assume that you'll likely get a fairly mature car here as well, especially this Google Android automotive system. Here for the infotainment is really great, and also in combination with this large 15-inch monitor, it's just awesome. Incredible fun. You should definitely consider, provided you can afford it financially, including the individual packages available as well. Particularly the Plus package, which offers double the AC charging speed, I do believe is essentially a must-have. There are also pixel LED headlights included, among other things. The pilot system, I believe, is quite good if you drive a lot of long distances to get maximum semi-autonomous driving support. And then, of course, the price probably becomes a bit more relative, yeah. But first, starting at 61, 9 kilograms, that's already something to talk about. Interesting story, definitely. And with that, we've reached the end of today's video with the Polestar 4. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up. Please check if you're subscribed for electric communication. We'd be happy if you support us with a subscription so you won't miss the consumption drive and the charging check in a few weeks. Thank you for watching. Stay healthy and see you soon. Yours, Ollie. You know, Stefan, you can't do without the half fish fin on the Polestar 4 either.
Certainly, but it's quite subtle and it really does fulfill its purpose.
Yeah, there's definitely the camera in there, I believe, for the rear view mirror and also for this pilot system's functionality. Yeah.
I am assuming that too, indeed.
Then we can make an exception. Let's show it from the side and go through it like that, right? Yes.
That still remains feasible.